Okay, for my late stage rehab for week 1 before the season starts of week 3, I first start with some strength exercises that help with strength, stability, and stability of the scapula, along with building some scapular control. So we're going to start with prone ITYs, just against gravity with body weight. So we're going to have them go into the T, going just straight out, perfect. Then do a Y, perfect, and then an I. This is a progression kind of those protraction punches, and then a progression of this too is we can give them like a really light dumbbell. I'm going to use in your hand. And we can work through those same ranges where we have the thumb coming up in T, perfect. Thumb up in Y, and thumb up in I. Perfect, I'll take it back from you. That's our prone ITs and Ys. Next what we're going to do is I'm going to have you stand up for me. We're going to have a resistance band or a super light cable that the clinician is going to hold, and I'm going to have them go into external and internal rotation, applying just a neutral force. So he's just going to go into external, good, and then turn around, keeping that shoulder at the side, or elbow at the side, excuse me, and internal. Perfect. To start to build some axial loading of the joint, we're going to work on incline push-ups. So what we're going to do is we're going to instruct the patient, you can come to this table, to kind of just put their hands here, feet back as far as they can go where it's comfortable and it's pain-free on their shoulder. We're going to ask them just to go through a pain-free range. So if that's only halfway down, that's what we got. But we'll kind of progress through it until we can get all the way down with incline push-ups. Perfect. For our next one, we're going to work on kind of some of the power aspects. What we're going to do is, we don't have a med ball, so we're going to use a volleyball. But we're going to work on just a med ball chest press. So with the patient, I want him to kind of push out a pain-free movement, and not as hard as they can, but just straight to my chest. So we're gonna go back and forth, just trying to press to build some of that explosive power with the med ball, obviously. Next, we're gonna work on some of that overhead press with the landmine press. We'd ideally have a barbell or a super light PVC pipe. We're gonna instruct the patient to get onto their knees. We're gonna use both hands kind of interlocked on this PVC pipe. We put one higher. And then they're gonna just press it straight up. Try to just drive with that overhead press. Perfect. Kind of in the middle. There you go. Yep. Now push up. Perfect. Those are the power exercises I would use. You can say that for me. Some of the mobility work that we would do is we're going to have him on his side doing the sleeper stretch. So what we're going to do is have him go on his right side, have his elbow here. We're in this arm. We'll kind of passively bring this arm down into as much internal rotation as we can. So bring the arm down, and we're just going to hold there for a nice stretch. After this, you can come to the ground for me. What we're going to do is, it's called the world's greatest stretch, is what I've heard it called as. What the patient's going to do is he's going to get on one knee, going to put both their hands on the ground, and with leaving one hand on the ground, they're going to bring their hand up as far as they can go, and then the other way. Hand on the ground, other way up. They would do 5 each side, and then switch their leg and do the other side. You're good. Okay. Finally, for some core integration, what we're going to do is we're going to start with some Pallof press. Ideally, we'd have a cable doing this, but this is our cable today. I'm gonna have you hold this. Coming up toward me. I'm gonna apply a rotational resistance. He has to resist the rotation and press straight out. Oh, there you go. Perfect. Okay, you're good. And then finally, for some more core integration, we would do just a plank. So if you wanna go ahead and do a plank on your elbows to make it easier so there's not as much load through there. Okay, perfect. You're good. Then the modalities I would use, there's different modalities I'd use both pre and post exercise. To start, to try and get some of that tissue extensibility, I'd start with the heat pack. This is my dual heat cold pack, but we'd heat it up over the shoulder, trying to get all those muscles and everything warmed up. After that's done, I'd have him lay prone for me on his belly. I'd have his shirt off, ideally. We do some manual therapy, working through the rotator cuffs, kind of infraspinatus, supraspinatus, working through that middle, upper, lower trap, along with the serratus anterior and the deltoid, kind of getting those guys loosened up with some manual work. Next, what we would do is some NMES or E-stem to kind of kick that muscle back on. Primarily, we would do Russian. And here we probably do supraspinatus, deltoid, working on abduction, trying to get that kick back on and working with some active ranges through it. Those are what I would do pre-exercise, and then I do all those exercises we just said. And then for post-exercise, you can sit back up for me. Our handy dandy dual cold pack. We put Game Ready on here for some compression and or ice to get that area nice and cooled down. We could also use some instruments, so if you want to lay back on your belly for me. We can then use an instrument to kind of help build up some of that tissue, the breakdown, excuse me. We'd work through infraspinatus, supraspinatus, the upper trap, middle trap rhomboids, and deltoid, trying to work through there to break up some of that. We could also have him, if we went to his back, we can work through kind of that pec major, pec minor. And we could have his arm out to the side, kind of like this, up in here, and working through that anterior capsule, deltoid, pec major, and pec minor. That is what I would do for late stage rehab week 1.